Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is, what is today's? Salted caramel. That's what it is. And I'm going to have that with coffee cake oat milk creamer. So today's high is only going to be 36 and it's trying to snow. Got a few flakes coming down here and there. Well, it's 7:30 and our garbage truck has been around already to pick up the recycles. They come earlier and earlier. They used to come late in the afternoon, and now I miss putting the recyclable garbage out because yesterday it was just too windy, and then the garbage cans blow around and all the garbage blows around. So the noise you hear in the background is my buddy Bandit chewing on a bone. Don't you guys know I'm trying to make a video? Well, anyway. So, yeah, you almost have to put that out the night before because I don't even get up till 7:30. Oh well, there's always next week. So, it's very cold out again today, but then it's going to warm up again, which I'm happy about. And I'm going to just carry on in the house today and have to clean up my kitchen again. Never-ending process. I really have to get through some of my kitchen cupboards again, do some purging. I have too much bakeware and all that stuff. I don't use that anymore, so I need to donate it. And around here, it's not worth it to have a garage sale. That's a lot of work, and maybe you make $100. So that to me is not worth the effort. Plus that, you still have it all in the house. I would rather just donate things and get them out of here and out of the way. Out of sight, out of mind. So that's what I think. Now I have sold some things on Marketplace. I sold my dishes. And that was worthwhile. And I've sold a couple of other things. But for the most part, I just prefer to donate. It's my way, too, of passing things forward to people that maybe can use it. And I like to donate to senior dogs because that's a charity that speaks to my heart. So, all right, let's try some of the coffee. Boy, he's really mowing on that bone. Give this a try. And I know it's good. I've had it before. Cheers. Using my little owl cup today. Cheers. Yeah, it needs a little bit more creamer. I need to use up some of these creamers that I have open. I could have some with oatmeal. But I'm not a big cereal fan. I prefer a later lunch, and then I prefer more a brunch rather than a breakfast. Let's try it now. Yeah, that's good. Because I only eat 2 meals a day, and sometimes I have a snack in between, something light. But I like to eat my brunch later in the day, like, between usually 10 and 11:30, I'll have some brunch. And then I have an early dinner sometime before 4 and 5, and then I'm good for the day. So I guess that helps me control my weight too, but that's not why I do it. I usually don't eat if I'm not hungry. And that's about the time frame where I start to get hungry. So that's when I have my meals. So So, all right, enough chitter-chatter about the coffee, and I will meet you over at the budget book. All right, back at the budget book. Well, yesterday I didn't spend any money. I've pretty much gathered up everything that I need for now to fix up my downstairs. And now I have to work on my bedroom. So the spending on the redesign is going to be going in the direction of more low spend and no spend. But I don't regret spending the money that I spent. I didn't break the budget. I didn't break the bank. So it's all good. So now I have to gather up some money for my 3 windows that I'll be getting next month. I'm not sure what the date of that is. They haven't come in yet. And I don't know what Jeff's schedule is either. So we'll see. But I have most of the money together for that. But I could use a little bit more of a cushion. And then I can't think of any big, huge projects that I want to do for the rest of the year. I better not say that, because something will come up. But the biggest projects now are just doing the windows, maybe 3 or 4 at a time. Next year I'll do some more until I have them all replaced. And then I'll save up for a new furnace and a new air conditioner when the time comes. So I do have to pressure wash my house, though, and I can't do that myself anymore. And I have a very small pressure washer that I can use to do the deck and things, but to do the whole house, it's a tall house, it's a colonial style house. So this year I'm going to go ahead and spend the money and have it pressure washed, because the whole back of the house is green and it looks horrible. But it's still too early to do that. I'll do that once the weather warms up. So anyway, those are my financial plans. And in the meantime, I'm going to save up as much money as I can to get all those things done, because I don't want to go into debt again, and I don't want to put anything on the credit card that isn't absolutely necessary. Another thing that I want to get at some point this year is I want to get some sort of a generator in case the power goes out. But I don't know. I have to do more research on that. I'm thinking more of going like with a solar type generator, even though in the winter that's kind of useless here in Ohio because we have so many cloudy days. But like I said, I have to do a little more research on that. I do have a tiny little generator that I could use to power my freezer if the power goes out. But you never know. In these crazy times, we need to be prepared for things. So hopefully you have enough of a food reserve and an alternate heat source and something that you can cook on. So those are all things that I've already prepped. And if I never use them, that's a good thing. But if I need it, I want it available. So, all right, I don't know what I'm doing today. Cleaning up my kitchen, that'll be one thing. But I'm not going to be getting into any big purging projects today. All right, I'll be back. All right, well, for tonight's dinner, the food I want to use up is the rest of that $1 lettuce that I got from Mark's. That's all gone now. I still had a tomato left. Had a little tiny bit of mozzarella cheese. And then I had these cocktail bread. in the refrigerator. They've been in there for a really long time. And years ago, when I went out to Ruby Tuesdays, I think it was Ruby Tuesdays, but anyway, they had a salad bar, and they had this kind of crouton, and it was really good. They weren't real dry, so I thought I would try that. I still have some of my not tuna salad that I added 2 eggs to because there wasn't enough to make a sandwich. So I stretched that out by adding 2 eggs. I still have 2 pieces of Italian bread that I want to use up. So, and I have some romaine lettuce that I want to use on there too. So I'm trying to use up all my produce and other random things I have laying around. So that will be tonight's dinner ingredients, and I'll be back when I get it all put together. Right, well, I put the rest of the mozzarella cheese on the sandwich, some lettuce. I'm going to add a little ranch dressing to that, and then I put some green onion that I have growing over here onto my salad, and that will definitely fill me up. So using up what I have, and then that will help with the low spend, no spend that I want to do in March. So there we go. A filling and tasty meal. Well, hello friends. I'm back at my table, gonna have some tea. I look really tired today. Well, today I spent the day going through all of my emails and deleting them, and it was a mess. So it amazes me how quickly that happens. I'm thinking about setting up another email account just for bills. You know, because things like that just tend to get lost, and that's actually one of the reasons why I let my old email go. Well, first of all, the issue was we switched from cable to fiber optic, but I had that email address for years and years, and I even paid extra during one point when I had a different provider to keep that email address. So I've had it a very long time. But I let that go, but it was so full of junk mail. I got to the point where I didn't even read it anymore. And even my email now, I get a lot of notifications like from Amazon, from my bank, from the Epic Times. If you haven't subscribed to the Epic Times, they have a lot of really good information on there, especially with what's going on in the world. So I enjoy reading some of those articles, but they do send you a lot of emails, but you can choose what it is you want them to send to you. So, and sometimes they have a promotion going where it's just $1 for, I got a year, but I know now it's $1 for 6 months. So, but it's well worth it if you want more unbiased news than what you get on the mainstream media. So that's what I did today, and then it was a pretty low-key day. Too cold to go outside, but the sun's shining, which is nice, and we're going to get weather warming up. But I thought I'd talk a little bit about the upcoming month, March, and I want to go back to low spend. I'll be doing some no spend and some low spend, and I actually started doing that in 2020. Where I made my budget book, I made myself lists of things when I do know or low spend that I will and will not allow myself to buy. So that was one of the first things I did. And then, of course, what's very helpful for me is my X's, red X's and green check marks. That kind of keeps me focused on what it is that I want to do. Now, that doesn't mean I never buy anything, but what I buy is intentional. It's not so much impulsive like I used to. I used to be a very impulsive shopper. I had discretionary money back then, so I was more able to do that. But for years now, I haven't had discretionary money. So I'm very glad I got everything paid off and now I'm debt free. And to me, it was worth it to take the last, I think it was $4,000 out of long-term savings to pay off the car and to pay off a consolidation loan that I had. It was very well worth it because now I have the freedom to buy more things. I still have to, I can't go out and just willy-nilly buy anything I want, but I do shop around and I buy what I can afford. So I guess if you want to do a no spend, some of the things that I did was asking yourself the question, why do you want to pay off your debt? And I think that's an important question. And I think we each individually have to figure that out. Why is it important that we pay off our debt? Is it because, and we all have different, you need to find what your motivation is. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is it because you want to save for retirement? A lot of the younger people, they aren't to that point yet, even though it's something that you should consider doing your whole working life. At least that's my recommendation. I had to start later in life because I was married. I was a housewife for a while. I worked part-time, so I really didn't have much of a retirement account when I first got divorced many years ago. I think that was in '89 I got divorced. So I had to begin from the beginning and start my retirement fund then. So that's what I did. But you have to figure out what motivates you. Do you want to be debt-free to free up money for travel? Do you want to be debt-free to free up money for a house? There's all sorts of reasons why people want to be debt-free. And that way it gives you cash money to buy the things that you actually want to buy, and you're not frittering away all the money that you make. So trying to figure out what will motivate you to become debt-free is an important first step. Then asking yourself what's holding you back. Is it that you're afraid of missing out, that you might miss out on something? Or is it afraid of being successful? Are you afraid of what people will say if you're not in the debt boat with them? Sometimes people get jealous, and they don't want you to be successful with that. So that's another question to ask yourself. What is holding you back? And another thing that might be holding you back, I have a little list here that I wrote down. Another thing that might be holding you back is just the overwhelming amount of work that you have to kind of do behind the scenes. You have to figure out a budget. That's very important. You have to know where your money is going and how much you're spending on what. You have to make a plan. Like for me, it was making lists of I can spend on this, within a certain amount of money. I can spend on that. I can't spend on that, and I can't spend on that. So just coming up with the lists is time consuming, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So is that holding you back? And figuring out a system that works for you, because one size does not fit all. Not everybody goes with the Dave Ramsey method, or there's so many methods out there to pay off debt. But you have to do the one that speaks to you, that works for you. But that's homework that you have to do yourself. That's not something that anybody else can do for you. So another thing that might be holding you back is you're saying in your head, I don't make enough money. Well, if you don't make enough money, you might want to think about how, if you don't want to get another, like a side gig or something like that, and you don't want another job, maybe looking at where you live. Am I paying too much for rent? Am I spending too much money on clothes? Am I spending too much money on coffee? Where is my money going? Again, it's something that you have to sit down and figure out in order to make progress in paying off your debt. Another thing is to acknowledge that you have a problem. So if you're an impulse shopper, stop going into stores that trigger buying sprees for you. That's what I had to do. I had to cut off the stores that, you kind of are meandering around, and I'll take this and I'll take that. So for quite a while, I had to avoid my Target stores, where I would just go in there just to spend money, be it boredom or or just a desire that I might miss out on something. So one of my big stores where I had to do that was Mark's. Now I still shop at Mark's, but I used to go in there once or twice a day because I wanted to see what they had in their aisles with all their stuff. So I had to get over that mentally, that, oh, I'm going to miss out on something if I don't go and look and see what they have. So really, it's going to boil down to coming up with a plan that works for you that is no spend. And I would say start small. You don't have to tell yourself, I'm going to not spend any money for a whole year. I'm not going to spend any money for a whole month. Whatever. You can start off with, I'm not going to spend any money today. And that's where the checkoff calendar comes in very handy. At least it did for me. It's like, no, I'm not going to spend money today. Maybe I'll buy that tomorrow, or maybe I'll put it on hold, and maybe I won't buy it at all. But slowly taking away that instant gratification that your brain desires, sometimes that takes quite a while. Now, I've been doing this, paying off this debt now for 4 years, so it was a learning curve, and it was something that I had to ingrain in myself and be very disciplined with. And sometimes you have to quit certain things cold turkey. It's like an alcoholic can't say, okay, I'm going to have a little sip of this drink, and then that doesn't work. Some things you have to, give up cold turkey. But we're all different. That might work for you when it comes to buying things. I mean, most of us have to go into a store to buy provisions and basic necessities. But for me, shopping online works great. And I tend to buy much less stuff when I shop online. So anyway, those are some of the things. let's see. Another thing, if set goals for yourself, start with small goals. Like I said, maybe just saying, I'm not going to buy something today. And then maybe adding to that where, okay, I did so many days of no spend. This week, I'm going to not buy anything this week. I'm just going to use what I have, get creative around your house, and look around and see if you can't do something different instead of buying something. Maybe you can borrow it, or you can make it, or, you know. So those are just some of the things before you do a no spend or a low spend you might want to think about doing, and sort of having a plan so that you can be successful. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.